This is the story of a man who saw freedom before his people could feel it. A man who believed Africa could rise, not as fragments, but as one voice, one power, one destiny. A man whose footsteps still echo through Ghana's independence and Pan-African dreams. This is the story of Kwame Nkrumah. He was born in 1909 in Crowfell, a small village on the Gold Coast. Son of a goldsmith. A boy who grew up under British rule, where black hands toiled and white crowns reaped. Even as a child, Nkrumah looked beyond the soil toward the skies. He read. He questioned. He believed. At Achimota School, they taught him about British heroes. But Kwame searched for African ones. That hunger took him across oceans. 1935. He boarded a ship to America, with pennies in his pocket but a continent on his shoulders. At Lincoln University, he studied economics, theology, philosophy. But more than that, he studied revolution. He read Marx. He read Garvey. He read Du Bois. In cafeterias and back rooms, he spoke of a free Africa. Not just Ghana, but all of it. A continent not defined by borders drawn in Berlin, but by blood, culture, and dignity. Then came London. More learning. More organizing. He co-founded the Pan-African Congress of 1945, demanding the end of colonial rule not politely but urgently. Kwame wasn't asking. He was planning. 1947. He returned to the Gold Coast. But this time, he didn't come back as a student. He came as a storm. He joined the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, but his fire burned too hot. He didn't want gradual independence. He wanted it now. So he broke away. Formed the Convention People's Party, CPP. Their slogan? Self-government now. He marched. He mobilized. He was arrested. But prison bars don't hold back tides. Even behind bars, his movement surged. When elections came, the people shouted his name. Kwame Nkrumah won. The jailer opened the cell not just for a prisoner, but for a prime minister. March 6, 1957. The Gold Coast became Ghana, the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence. Nkrumah stood before the world and said, "At long last, the battle has ended, and Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever." But freedom was just the beginning. He built schools, factories, dams. He launched the Volta River Project, a symbol of power, both literal and political. He gave girls the right to education. He championed workers, farmers, the poor. He wore African cloth to meetings once reserved for British suits. And still, he dreamed bigger. He wanted the United States of Africa. One currency, one army, one voice. To him, Pan-Africanism wasn't an idea, it was survival. But not everyone wanted unity. Not everyone wanted independence without strings. And not everyone liked a black man standing tall without apology. They whispered. They plotted. They waited. 1966. While Nkrumah was on a peace mission to Vietnam, a coup swept through Ghana. Backed by foreign interests, his own military ousted him. He never returned home. Exiled. Erased from textbooks. Statues pulled down. His name smeared as a dictator. But truth cannot be exiled. In Guinea, he was named honorary co-president. He continued to write, to think, to hope. But the weight of betrayal broke more than his heart. April 27, 1972. Nkrumah died in Bucharest, Romania. Far from Accra. Far from the crowds that once chanted his name. No parade. No ceremony. Just silence. Yet, time rewrites truth. Today, Ghana calls him its founding father. Independence Square now bears his statue. His mausoleum stands tall. His speeches still ripple through African summits. And his call for unity still haunts every divided border. He once said, "The independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent." He didn't just want flags raised. He wanted minds lifted. He didn't just want colonial chains broken. He wanted Africa reborn. Kwame Nkrumah may have died in exile, but his ideas, they came home. They built roads. They educated children. They live in the heart of every African who still dreams of true freedom. He didn't lead with violence. He led with vision. He didn't seek power. He sought purpose. So rise, read, and remember Nkrumah, because freedom begins not in battle but in belief. And revolution doesn't end at independence. It starts with unity. If you find this video interesting, please do well to like, share, and subscribe.